What is happening with crypto? Well, join me today and we're going to go over exactly what's going on. Are we still going to hit the bottom or are we going to the top? If you haven't already, do subscribe, drop a comment below, and hit the bell to get your latest news in cryptocurrency. Now, Bitcoin is still sitting today at around $42,265, which is doing much better than 35. We had been covering this for the last week or so about Bitcoin and kind of really making a come up. Now, there's a lot of things that's really going on in the world today that are really starting to influence cryptocurrency. Russia's potentially going to accept it as a currency, which is a big motivator, a big pusher. I know they were talking about banning it, but now there's talk of it actually being accepted as some form of currency. Give in mind that if it's actually going to be controlled or not, right? So of course it's going to be controlled, but we're going to see a big push from that coming up. So technically, that crypto summer is right around the corner. Now, you can see that we had this little up and down, this nice little retracement kind of popping off in Bitcoin over the past couple of days, right? So from the 12th or so, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's a great gift for all you guys holding out there. And you can see it's starting to be bought back into. It's still fighting it in. Now, when we're looking, of course, at the volume side of it, the MACDs, we're looking at all of that. It's not the healthiest, it's not the best. It's starting to look like we can have a little bit of a reversal, but from what I see on my end, I see something a little bit different. So I think it's actually going to move up as something that is rather, well, it's typical, right? So you can see it, even in the past, it kind of comes down and comes up. If we're speaking about like from September, for example, moving in as well. So you can see that we had this nice little range kind of going in right here, right? That little sideways action popping off, which actually broke through, came up, and a little bit of retracement. We need some retracements going on. We're here the same. It kind of came up. So it's pretty healthy overall, but it does show that it is going to start to really pick back up as well. Now, if we're speaking about the other coins, if we're going into Ethereum as well, Ethereum's showing the same signs now. Of course, it's still kind of really fighting it out as well. It's getting closer for a little bit to go back down. I think we may retest this support line as well. So I think we could potentially check that out. But I really think it'll go back down to possibly 2,700. Today it's around 27.9. It could touch base on that a little bit, but I think it will start to move up if it doesn't enter to a range, which is also highly possible as well. So, but over and all, it is starting to move up. Ranges aren't bad. It's a good thing. Even some good wedges are a little bit exciting, of course, but typically around the same time of the year as well, Ethereum is kind of picking up on that too. Now, looking at AVAX is somewhat into like a bit of a wedge pattern. It's kind of showing the same thing. It's kind of slowing down, which is all falling apart because there's so much going on. Even the conflict that's going on, that pushes it. We have inflation going on. The whole market altogether is just kind of like garbage this year, starting off with, but it is potentially going to move up and into that as well. Just so there are some little shaky waters that is really moving in, but you can see that we had some resistance kind of popping off back in the 10th, right? So you can see that that gave us a big sign. These are always my big things here. When you start to see those, they really are giving you a big red flag of what's going to happen. Even this one was the flag for this down. So I think we can kind of come back down as well. I think we're going to see a little bit of some bottoming and out, just a little bit before we start to move back up. Of course, it's going to crash a little bit before coming up, but XRP starting to recover too. We kind of hit that low too as well, but it's coming up. We're sitting around 82,000, not a very comfortable position, which is still much better than around 60 where we were sitting on that support, right? And we did jump back up to that, but it's also a healthy retracement coming in. But over and all together, it looks pretty healthy. I think we can kind of move in and start making some money. I think it shows for the, the MACD and the RSIs, the volume as well is showing a really good sign that it's going to continue to climb from this. So even this little flag here, it's a little. I'm not going to call it a red flag. Let's just call it a yellow. But it does have high potential of actually moving up quite well, giving in. All right, so Matic as well. Matic is not looking so hot. I think Matic's actually going to fall as well. I think we're going to probably touch pretty close to around 150, right? 155 minimally. I think we're going to kind of touch back base here pretty soon. It does show that it is going to continue this reversal. It could move back up. as well, but it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's going to move up when we're looking at the volume as far as the selling going on for the daily. But we won't be able to see anything until the next day or so. But it does have that high potential. I'd say around 60% of actually touching back down to a buck 50 before going back up. But it is one of those things to watch out for when you see these candles. The good side of it is that it's starting off strong, but it's just being rejected completely. Now you can see it's just fighting it out, it's struggling. It just changed as we're speaking. But it is getting rejected into it, but it could move back up. It has that potential, but it also shows a potential of hitting back down. So again, the next day or two, we won't know. So following along with Ethereum as well, it's going to kind of touch back base with it. Looking at the market as a whole, Bitcoin's sitting around 42.5 for the price of the day. It's up by 48% for the 24-hour period, 2.20% for the 7-day. We have Ethereum up by 0.73% and down by 243 for the week. We have also sitting at XRP is still up, just doing really great for the weekly. Is at 25 and 31% for the weekly, and the daily is up by 8.29, which is really, really great. So still fighting it out though, and that's where we have. Solana's up by 0.94 for the daily and down by 15, not the greatest. AVAX is up by 6 and 48 for the weekly and 1 and 33. Dots down by 10% for the weekly. This is what we're speaking about. This is the weeklies is what we're speaking about in the last videos. What you really should be paying attention to is going to show that trend. So this is potentially going to kind of drive us further into the mud just a little bit before we actually really break out of that price to at least $2. But 1.71 for the daily as well. And Matic is at 0.12 and 1.81, right? So that's where we want to watch out for. So Polkadot's kind of the sitting in there. Polygon's kind of sitting there as well. But this is a good sign for Polygon. Matic sitting at 0.12%. It's not the greatest, but it's not red. But if we're seeing the same thing for like Polkadot here, I would definitely tell you now that percentage is definitely going to continue down. So we'll see what's coming up in the near future. The next couple of days is really going to give us most of the information. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Do subscribe, drop a comment, and I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, next time.